today.
Yeah, so, man, this just... I can't. There are no words for that. Like, even my
we are
absolute
off!
Oh, please don't tell us that. We don't need to hear that.
I don't know. So first chest, bloomerang. Nope. It had to be 20 rupees. You know, the most common item to get in the game.
Yeah, statistically it is. It's game compared to 24 pieces of heart, so those are your two safe bets, of course. And instantly a check here, 4-2 blue, I believe that was.
That is correct.
Yep. Tower of Hera being Crystal 4, Eastern Palace being Crystal 2, and Desert Palace being blue pendants.
So, yeah, EvilAsh, because he took that that map check, is just a couple seconds behind. But, you know, that's going to change 3 or 4 times by this race.
Yeah, and you know that isn't going to make too much of a difference in the long run. Hey, you wanted the boomerang, didn't you?
Yeah, I was close. I was the wrong boomerang and a chest off. I guess that's close. I'm not certain.
Feels bad seeing that 20 rupees there and not getting picked up, because you do want 50 rupees at least before you get to Kakariko, assuming you get bombs, because that way you can get 50 out of the well and blind suck together, and you're able to buy the bottle vendor's item. So, goal is 50.
The thing that's odd to me is I've played a couple of the new version 22 logic seeds, and I'm not used to seeing Link, because the new logic allows you to play as Zelda, as the Minish Cap, as Samus, as the Frog.
Yeah, nice bombs in the chest there too.
Yeah, bombs in the chest, very nice.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was fairly late to the race when it came out, so I didn't get a chance to really explore any of the option stuff, so I was still Link as a default. But I'm probably going to play as Zelda for most of the time, because that was interesting.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about the Zelda sprite, as I found out while I was playing, is that the Zelda sprite is actually taller than the Link sprite, so when you're setting up bomb jumps, it's a different setup. The visual cues are different.
See, I do it by looking at the ground more than I do by the sprite, so I hopefully won't be too affected by that, but it's definitely something I should look at. Oh, EvilAsh didn't quite get the spin attack there. If you're a little bit too late in releasing the sword spin there, then it doesn't work at all, so you've just got to slash the guy. Tiny bit slower, but not, you know, a big deal. Just... You look at the execution of the top players here, and you think any tiny thing that doesn't quite go right, you must be like marginally playing into the lines here, like that boomerang toss just now. I like it actually from EvilAsh. You seen he disabled the guard instead of killing them. Oh, gotta be careful with this though.
Yeah, it does 1 heart. Okay, because that ball and chain guy does 1 heart per hit, so that could have been bad. Hashtag things in Zelda's chest today is just a bomb upgrade.
Ooh. So EvilAsh is not taking any more health here. Probably not a big deal, because there's 1 heart before the snake room, which is really where the damage might get dealt. So you shouldn't really be encountering much. You might get caught by the guards on the first floor just before going back, but I saw EvilAsh went right side instead of left side for the start there, so not something you see too many people do. I think only Christos is the other one I've seen do that, so...
And also, you know, you're talking about the number of hearts. Remember, there are plenty of hearts under pots in the escape as well, so you can grab a couple of those on
it's
the way.
It's just a case of where you want to go to get them, really.
Sure. But you may have gone right in the beginning, but definitely going left to get out. So
yeah, see, that's what I was thinking he might do, because he still got hit by the guard there. That would have been down to half a heart if it wasn't for that, and the guard was going to chase. So it's not as if you could get away from him that easily. Could have stunned him with a boomerang, I suppose, but maybe he just wanted rid of the beeping. It is pretty annoying.
So about 4 minutes and 20 seconds to push in the wall.
Yeah, it's a pretty great time for both of them, to be honest. It should be a sub-6 for both of them if they don't spend too long in the state room. Oh, that fairy drop, though.
That clutch fairy.
Totally necessary. What are you talking
about? Planned it that way. Oh, another bomb up here in the rope room.
Plenty of bombs dropped in this seed so far. And there was a capacity upgrade too, so it's not as if they'll be running out that way.
Oop. EvilAsh missing the boomerang shot on the ropes. I guess the snake slithered under it.
So what are you hoping to see in the free chest here in this game? Since this map has already been picked up now, what are you hoping to see in these chests?
Man, in the spirit of what we saw last time, it'd be great if we saw like boots, moon pearl, and mirror, right?
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. Oh, the magical boomerang is a little bit quicker than the standard one, and by a little bit I mean a heck of a lot quicker. So it's very easy to, when you're used to the standard strats, to not actually account for that, and so yeah, mistakes can happen. Oh, the ice rod. Okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah, it may. Yeah, particularly in this version of logic, it's basically telling you already. Okay, turtle rock's not required.
I was thinking that myself. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. See, the chat's got it too.
Pendant
turtle rock confirm.
Yep. That could come into play if only the lamp is picked up and before like Landmolar, if they decide to go there. I know it's a pendant, but you never know exactly what the seed is going to lead you to. And Ice Rod does the same amount of damage as a Fire Rod to Landmolar, so
a little bit more of a delay on the wind up, but
yeah, the projectile's a bit slower, so it's harder to hit with, but still possible.
Yeah, but still better than using the Fisher-Price sword.
Yep, just a little bit.
Yeah. So Newbie not going to check our lumberjacks today. That's an interesting gamble. So
I think a lot of the times within the version 18 logic here is both players do the blue tier of tree pull here, so that's kind of good. Getting blue rupees off of it, is it even randomized? Bloomerang there as well, so not going to be picking that up anytime soon.
No, this is not 100% race.
So I think within the logic of this particular setup, it makes sense to maybe not check it all the time, because if you're going to need to do Aghanim, then the game usually forces you to anyway. Like, you don't have any other choice but to do Aghanim in order to progress the seed. So I can see why Newbie would take that chance. Also, considering the pace of the first game, might not think he even has the time to check that sort of thing.
That's true. Okay, so Ash picking up 20 bucks in the Thieves' Cave. Newbie heading down to Blind's house. That's true. You know what you were saying, though, Gamer Cal, is that sometimes though, if you do get an early sword upgrade or early cape, it's kind of your sign. And some people may choose to do Aghanim, before they're forced to. Lots of love here in Blind's dungeon, and then 2 red rupees. So no progression items as of yet. We'll see how this goes.
Very interesting. Okay. At least there's enough money to buy additional bombs here, should there not be any in the chests, because you don't want to leave Kakariko with no bombs, for sure. And assuming the race game is actually needed here, all of Newbie's bombs are accounted for. All 3 of them here. So,
and particularly because the next stop for most runners after Kakariko Village is going to be Mini Moldorm Cave. There's some literacy in the well.
Who would put a soggy book down here, seriously?
Yeah. It's like, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, right? And Riot Shield! Early on.
Instantly discarding the shield that was in his cave. How did it even get there anyway? Uncle never made it that far.
That's right. Just a little piece of fart from the bottle merchant today. Newbie heads on to the chicken house. Is he going to try for the chicken clip? Yes, he is, and he doesn't quite get it.
It's not that important.
Oh, regressive shield.
So, if we were playing under the new logic with progressive items, we would still have the mirror shield here, because every single shield has been found within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, one of the greatest moments of the tourney so far was when the guys had all 3 shields in escape sewers.
That's
right
good
next
as
to
well.
each other.
Wow. So I really do like Newbie picking up bombs here, as I was saying before. I mean, in this case, you would be thinking, oh, there's bound to be bombs somewhere here, but doesn't look like there is. So, and the extra capacity upgrade means even if they do end up getting more than 10 bombs, it's not going to be wasted. So, very nice just to have that, you know, the 11 bombs there instead of buying a full stack when you only need... Oh!
Flute on the library shelf.
So, Pegasus Boots at race game?
Hey, the way this game went last time. So, you know, the interesting thing is, flute is required a lot of the time, but only required if Misery Mire is required.
Correct.
So if Misery Mire's a pendant, that may not be a required item. But darn it if it doesn't help you out with your time.
Yep. So you can imagine as soon as Pegasus Boots are collected. So this is sort of a similar thing to when I see something at the Lumberjack Cave, like the mirror or, you know, Moonpearl or anything that way. I go, right, well, as soon as I have access to Aga 1, that's going to be what I do. And I think it's going to be a similar thing here, where since you see the flute there, as soon as you get Pegasus Boots, you save quit, you go back and get them, right?
Oh, sure.
A slight ordering thing from Newbie here. Since you don't have the Pegasus Boots, the best bet is to open that chest first, because if Pegasus Boots are in there, then you get to dash through the rest of this.
Hey, gotta save the frames.
Exactly. That's really all it is. But you can actually start the dash before you've completed the pull animation on the lever, so it actually can be quite a decent time save.
Newbie saying, I don't need your piece of fart. I am so good at this game, I do not need any more hearts than I already have. Gotta save the frames.
Yep. And you've got to imagine they're going to pick hitter anyway, so it's probably not going to make the biggest difference here. So yeah, you see EvilAsh doing it.
Oh, Newbie getting trolled by the mini troll dorms.
Thankfully the fairy dropped there, because he was in range of a crab kill if he didn't actually get more health there.
Yeah, all of the crickets and the crabs in this game, man.
Yeah, those
way
guys in
too
Thieves
much
Town.
damaged, and nothing, absolutely nothing in Mini Moldorm Cave.
This is really interesting. I guess this must have been like a polar opposite of the previous seed, probably because they found the ice rod, you know, polar cold, but still.
Ooh.
Yeah, we might go there once or twice.
Yeah, instead of a Stoops jet seed, this is a grumpy old man seed. Right.
Oh, EvilAsh, no!
Both of our runners getting trolled by the mini Moldorms today. Is it going to be that kind of seed? It may just be.
Interesting that Newbie didn't pick up the 20 rupees there, even though he was literally right next to him.
Yeah, man, after your opponent pulls a 1 hour 9 minute in the first round, you are thinking frames.
Nice Bugnet.
Hey, Aghanim required. There we go.
Yep, so Aghanim's required, but Todorok is a pendant. Okay, I could live with this. Yeah, and I mean, you've got a point. That is definitely a thing you'd be thinking, but that is literally like half a second, not even that. And if you end up having to farm for Zora because you didn't pick up those 20 rupees, you would feel pretty bad. Not saying that's going to happen, but it's definitely possible. I like Newbie sitting here. I tend to set up with me facing to the left there rather than facing straight up, but I do exactly the same setup because I can't seem to get the bush one to work. So
yeah, I always go from right to left when I'm setting up fake flippers too. Don't know why, but I do.
Yeah,
so
you can set it up by looking at the bush the leaf pattern on the floor. You can make sure that you get the right pixel with that.
So one of the changes that's been made in the new logic is that fake flippers no longer will you die if you get hit during fake flippers. They've changed it back to the way it was in vanilla. If you get hit while you're in fake flippers, you better let go of that D-pad or else you're going to soft lock the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that, to be honest, but then again, it's the only reason I'm weird on it is because, well, they made a fix to it to prevent it from being an issue, and now, like, what has changed?
Yeah, I think it was a little too free before. I mean, it really was. There was absolutely no risk to it, other than the time. So
it's quite a decent time loss. But see, I saw Newbie dropped another 20 rubies there, just not wanting to pick up anything. It seems like he's even got the boomerang, so he could just throw the boomerang backwards at it, and it would work perfectly fine. So I don't know. I just hope it doesn't come back to bite. That's really all I'm worried about.
A safe deposit box here, which there's the half magic, but nothing else.
Yeah, so your choices at the moment, it appears, are going into Easton itself or a Guinness Cave. That's basically it.
And that, I think, well, it looks like Newbie may be heading to Agonis Cave, which I think is a little odd because, particularly in this version of the logic, Agonis Cave is really low percent.
Yeah, this is kind of your last-ditch effort, really. Your last final gambit, I guess, before you really tend to get stuck. But I think EvilAsh is... Oh, no. EvilAsh is probably going to do the same thing. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we forgot Newbie. They do have the book, so they can get into Desert. Even though they can't finish it,
right,
they can get into Desert.
True.
So...
Yeah, and Desert disproportionately has items in this version, so maybe that's the logic behind this.
And I don't think it's just in this version. I think most of the versions I've played, Desert and its 2 items seem to be crucial more often than any other dungeon. At least in the light world. Yeah,
I guess. I mean, I tend to find more in Tower of Terror personally at the moment. That seems to be the big one for me. But
I know VTorp has a spreadsheet out there with all the item possibilities based on 100,000 generations of the seed, which is awesome. Or maybe it's only 10,000. Still, it's a lot. And oh, das Boot!
So remember what I said about getting them and then save quitting straight away to get that flute?
That's right.
It depends. Well, I mean, this is Blue Pendant, so even if they found in the dungeon itself, like the glove and the fire rod or the lamp or something, they're probably not going to finish this dungeon right.
What are those? That's right. What are those? So I think. So what do you do, Gamer Cal? Do you run out and grab the boots first?
No, I think you still check the 2 here personally. Well, okay, the map is kind of unfortunate there. That means you know that you need the boots here. But I would, knowing that the boots are here, actually, I would now go ahead and grab them and then come back and check the main parts here. Because you could still get 2 items here. I mean, checking the map chest is really not that bad because it's directly in the way anyway, and you can now just dash straight across that. You don't have to interrupt your dash to do a different room. So, oh, there's an interesting choice. The immediate save quit here. So,
oh, Desert is a pendant, but yeah, why? Yeah,
You're guaranteed at least 1 item out of here. So, I don't know. That, I mean, could be good.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, we can sit here and we can second guess all day long, but darn it, if it turns out, see, he gets a bottle, now he can go check Sick Kid.
Yep, that's pretty good.
But it's easy to second guess it when it doesn't work, right? Like when somebody misses a key item because of the chance that they made. Or the choice that they made. It's really easy to say, oh, well, he shouldn't have done that, but it's randomized, guys.
Me personally here, I'd be torn inside over this, though. If I was skipping out, I probably would have immediately gone, no, that's a mistake. Why did I do this?
Oh, the shovel for the Sick Kid. So, I heard you like fetch quests, so we put a fetch quest in your fetch quest.
Would you like to do some fetch quests?
Right.
That Master Sword.
Ooh, right. Master Sword. Yeah. So now we can definitively say that was probably a mistake for Newbie404. But,
we'll see, though, because this flute is going to give him access to the mountainside, so we'll see if there's a better sword up there that he could access, or maybe even a mirror or
just
something.
went out the EvilAsh just went out the bad entrance, I guess. Okay, he didn't check Ganon already. Okay.
Yep. And he's already done everything else in the dungeon. He's picked up every chest that he can. Yeah. So there's no reason for him to stay in the dungeon. There's no mirror, of course, to go to the other side, even if he wanted. But yeah, he left this place for last so that he could save quit out of here at the end. And that, yeah, because coming out of this cave takes a decent time to do. So even when you have Pegasus boots, not that he had at the time when he came down here. So, you know. Ooh. Where's EvilAsh saving from here? That's interesting. So I think the way he's doing this is
straight to Haunted Grove.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have the shovel yet because he didn't do the bottle stuff. But I think the reasoning behind this is that he's going to get the flute before getting into Kakariko, so that he can just activate the bird straight away. But it's just interesting that when you have Pegasus boots and you know that Sanctuary is a place that you can't flute to, it's an interesting choice not to just go and do what Newbie did here and get the bonk Saint Rebel pile out of the way. When I was doing my general tips thing for this before the tournament started, that was one of the top 5 locations that was always forgotten.
Pearl from the old man.
Okay, so now we just need a glove, and Dark World can be accessed really easy. But if there's no glove here, then I think that means that Master Sword is actually... Wow, I mean, Eastern Palace could still have something, but the Master Sword might well be the ticket to actually keep on going.
On Spectacle Rock!
Need the mirror!
Wow! And flippers in Spectacle Rock Cave! Wow, Newbie. He may not have the Master Sword, but wow.
That could lead to Zora, but there's no money for it at the moment, which is a big issue. I don't think either of them checked the green pull tier from the trees, though. So that would have been... There have been times, though, I've seen that as a red... Oh, yep, pick up that red rupee, just to be sure. There have been times where I've seen that be red rupees just for killing one enemy and then pulling the tree. And that would obviously be your best grinding location at the moment. And so this is the unfortunate thing about... Okay, so you've got the flute, it's fine. This is the unfortunate thing about the way EvilAsh did this, is that now he's got to flute back to Kakariko to do the sick kid stuff.
Right. So Newbie... Where is Newbie heading?
I think now is the time he's going to check the... Maybe?
Is he farming for rupees? What? Oh no, or doing the
farming for kills. Yeah, he's gonna get the red pull tier. I think that's what he's trying to do. He's setting up the 4 kills to get the red tier. If you kill 4 more enemies and don't take damage, then you... Or unless... I don't know, because that was the...
Yeah, that was green.
They don't have to. No, he killed 4 enemies, and then... Oh, the gloves out of the digging spot, though!
Oh.
That's the wrong glove to get you into the Dark World, though.
True.
You need the mirror now to get the hammer. Alright, so red tier was bombs. And I don't think we've seen green tier yet. What is Newbie doing here?
I am at a loss. Is he farming for... He couldn't be farming for Zora. There are so many better places to farm rupees for Zora.
Yeah, there's no way that... Because even if he was, then surely it would be better just to go Kakariko, right?
Right.
Obviously, if EvilAsh needs to farm, then he can now do the desert guy, the desert thief guy, because he has the power glove. Yeah, I think Newbie was just trying to confirm the pull tiers, but that seemed a bit weird. I don't know.
I agree. I'm at a loss. It's something we're going to have to ask him about, regardless of the results of this. Tournament.
Thanks to the flippers, he can go up to Zora's place anyway. I mean, best case scenario for him would be like 300 rupees on the ledge so that he could then check Zora, but that's a bit of a far-fetched thing as well. Also, because they have Pegasus boots to...
Oh, the mitts on the... That's going to be important.
And he hasn't found the power glove because he hasn't dug yet. that's the one that's needed to get to the Dark World in this current spot.
That's
Okay,
right.
so a weird turn of events there, but interesting nonetheless.
Agreed. So let's see what Ash is going to decide to do now, because he's made the trip up to Death Mountain.
Now,
What are the myths?
the worst case for EvilAsh here would... the worst case for Newbie here would be that, say, Mirror was at Zora himself.
True.
Or something of that degree was there. EvilAsh is setting up the Chris Houlihan room. Didn't know you could do it from here. That's pretty cool. I suppose, yeah, because then you can do the grave at Escape, or even just go further and fall down the hole here. Okay, so the Chris Houlihan room stuff, from what I know about it, is basically... Is this even randomized? Cape in the Cape place. The way that I understand this is that if you dash at the very bottom pixel of the screen, then you kind of transition in a place where the game doesn't expect you to, and it doesn't know where to throw you when you fall down a pit in when you go horizontally. So you like transition down the screen, and then you fall into a pit in any sort of horizontal level to you. That makes sense. So usually, like one screen down from where Newbie is at the moment, if you were to bonk off of the bushes there and hit the bottom of the screen and then dash downwards, you could then go to where the pit is for Escape, and then you can fall down that and get to Chris Houlihan room. So
EvilAsh warped to Zora. Yeah, the darn sticky whirlpools kind of trolling EvilAsh over here. But so yeah, Houlihan room is a great strat, particularly when you're trying to farm rupees for Zora, because there's what, 100?
255 in there, I believe.
Yeah. So lots of rupees.
Yep. That might be something that changes in future major versions of the game. That sort of, like, the blue rupees on the ground thing might get changed in color randomly. So.
All right, well, let's find out what Zora has today. Zora just has a life lesson.
Yeah, you've got to wait for the animation to fully go away, Newbie. Can't switch to the flute when the shovel is still being dug up. Alright, so now you have access, as I think Newbie is going to, now you have access to Village of Outcasts. So the game can truly begin now, if you will.
And one interesting thing is that Newbie's going to be going through with the fighter sword, which is not going to matter for Thieves Town if he wants to run into Thieves Town right now. Okay, we got... Oh, gosh, we got Crystal 1 was Skull Woods.
I didn't see which ones were 5 and 6, but I did see the green pendant is Turtle Rock, red pendant is Palace of Darkness.
Palace of Darkness, yeah. Wow.
Ice Rod in Escape, confirmed, Turtle Rock not required.
Right, we all called it.
We did, yep.
Oh, he got the Ice Rod early, huh? No Turtle Rock today.
So, yeah, Misery Maya and Swamp Palace are apparently Crystal's 5 and 6.
Wow.
So Newbie is taking advantage of a exploit here specific to the tournament seeds version 8.18, which got fixed in 0.19. So just before, like 2 weeks into the tournament, got fixed up, and it's where the second chest in the chess game after you've done it once is always guaranteed to have 100 rupees. So he's farming up enough to go for Zora later on in the game.
Yeah, but as we know now, he's already gotten the only item of consequence from Zora, so that's going to end up being a huge time waste for him, because there is really no quick way to get to Zora.
No, the hope is that you chain it with Catfish using the mirror.
Right.
So it might end up being the case that neither of these players do Thieves Town just now because they know where the hammer is.
Right.
It'd be a bit of a cruel joke if the mirror was a blind, but you know.
So it looks like nothing of consequence on Bumper Cave.
Yep, which is a shame because the cape has been easily accessible, so... No, Newbie is going to take a dive in here.
Newbie's making a liar out of you, Gamer Cal.
Yeah, apparently so. I like this, though, because even... You've just got to keep a mental check of, oh, I might need to come back here later when things start getting desperate, if you will.
Right.
But just so that you... As long as you remember if you need the chest here, then I honestly don't mind this. And it's a reasonable chance that Map or Compass is in that big chest. So... you might not even have to come back here.
And not only that, this is the only boss in the entire game where your sword is completely irrelevant. So the fact that he's got the fighter sword doesn't really change much on blind, other than the reach of the fighter sword.
The range is the big issue, but even then, it's not enough to make it possible. And if it was, the cape is there, so it's not as if there's going to be any problems at all during this fight.
Yeah, cape plus half magic.
Yes! So, and it's not like it's the Cane of Burner, which would lag the heck out of it. Although Cane of Burner actually does damage blind, so it's kind of an interesting trade-off there. Very good in open mode, where you don't necessarily have a sword.
Yeah, I've said this before, I'll say it again. The one time I tried an open mode seed, there was no other choice but to kill Landmalas with the Cane of Samaria.
Oh my goodness, okay. How many hits does that take?
Too darn many.
Alright, so you see Newbie switched out. Newbie switched out to the cape here, so just made the Hellwave very easy to get through.
I don't blame him at all, especially with half magic.
It's also good for menu transitioning, because you want to have bombs out like what EvilAsh has here, but you can very easily transition between bombs and the cape because it's just a top-bottom menu. So you could just hit down on the cape and get to your bombs, and then to go.
So, you know, the chat, of course, always is wondering what could be on the pedestal. You know what would be the ultimate troll to be on the pedestal right now, and I think it can be Magic Mirror.
The only dungeon that you need Magic Mirror to beat is Swamp, yeah. So, because that is a crystal.
That could be trolly as heck. And of course, the chat would love to see it. Us commentators would love to see it, but EvilAsh and Newbie404 might throw their controllers across the room in frustration.
Newbie more so than EvilAsh, I think. I think EvilAsh has played enough of the recent stuff to be just like, yeah, whatever, let's just do it. But, I mean, when Turtle Rock is green...
they're right. Mirror can't be on pedestal. Mirror can't be on pedestal because you gotta have to have it to get the hammer.
Aw, man. Rude.
Yep.
And Fire Rod can't be either because Turtle Rock is required.
Turtle Rock, yep. So, and that also leaves out Cane of Samaria.
There's always the chance that it could be the medallion for Maya, where because they're different between Maya and Turtle Rock. It's always the chance that that's the case.
And Emma posting in the chat, like, great minds think alike. Could the hookshot be on the pedestal?
The only dungeon you need to hookshot for, actually, is when they've got Pegasus boots, is Swamp. So.
Yep. So that, I think that's possible. Yeah, I think it is.
So we'll see how the blind fight goes for Newbie here.
But yeah, shoutouts to Emma, who's running the tracker for us this race. That is a lot more difficult of a job than you think it is, because you're sitting in the chat, you're like, oh yeah, this is easy, I know what everybody has, but you're not sitting there trying to keep track of both runners, particularly when there are route diversions. So...
no mirror or blind. That would have been funny.
That would have been, because why would blind need the mirror?
All the better to see himself with.
I think you're missing the point there, bro.
I don't know. I mean, it could concentrate the light enough.
Oh, you're talking. So you're talking the difference between blind and just legally blind.
Exactly. Right? Interesting spin speed here. I don't think that actually really does benefit of use, but interesting to do it anyway.
I have seen a couple runners do digging game with spin speed active, and they were all over.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Wow. So I was slightly off in where it was, but close enough. It's in the vicinity. It's what, 2 screens away?
That's right. Dirty mirror, as one of our chat folks says, and Newbie says, "Wow, I just got the mirror, so I can do the entire Dark World South route now."
Yeah, this is good because he's got the book, so it can lead to bomb burst at the end. Except no sword, because he didn't pick up Master Sword. So I wonder then if we are going to see that, or if we're just going to see the flute be used here. I would prefer to see the flute myself, because the only reason in my eyes, especially with no hookshot, the only reason to take the purple chest in through the Dark World is because you have the Bombos tablet at the end of it.
Well, not only that, but you also can route around and pick up Old Stumpy Cave south of the Haunted Grove.
Yeah,
on the
see,
same route.
The problem is when you've got the Pegasus boots and when you don't have the hookshot to combine it with dashes here, then it just basically means you're walking through all of those bits instead of running through it. And if you can flute just there and then come back down afterwards, that's way quicker.
But also remember, our runners too will be hitting the Hype Cave this way as well.
Yeah, and well, I mean, they could pick up the hammer for that, but I guess that does take a bit to do. Magic powder there. Oh man. The dilemma now. Do you go back and
do you go back to the Bat Cave with the percentages on Bat Cave? I don't know.
I think that would probably be something that would be done when the hammer gets picked up. But there's the other sort of thing here, is if you were to go up, pick up the hammer, maybe try and do Tower of Herod, you could also do east side of Death Mountain, get most of the stuff done there. You might not be able to do Dark World Death Mountain as well, but you may as well check the 3 chests that are available that side. You could even do Spike Cave whilst you're up there, and then you've got the hammer in tow, so that when you come back down here, you can do pegs, you can do, in this case now, the powder, the magic bat, and then, then you can do Bombos at the end of it.
So Newbie's going to get Gary to open the lunchbox here. Just a little bit of love. So interesting routing for Newbie. A lot of times we see our runners leave the chest at the entrance to the swamp section here, run over to Hype Cave, and you can actually leave the chest there and come back to it.
Yeah.
But, Newbie may, now I was thinking he may be thinking check Pyramid after this, but he can't. He doesn't have the hammer.
Yeah, and that's the other reason for this. Like, if he was to have gone up and gotten the hammer before doing this whole loop, then he'd be able to come back here quickly, because there's the warp point at warp 4, and then
Silver's in Hype Cave.
Half hype. Okay.
Yeah, half hype.
I will say that I much prefer this route from EvilAsh's perspective, because he has the Master Sword to check the Bombos tablet. That's really the big sticking point for me here with between the two of them. The route does work, but it works a lot better for EvilAsh, because he can now do this one extra area that will be weighing on Newbie. It's a bit of a loose square, I suppose you could say. Oh yeah, double blocked. Not even being able to get past it to get into the house. The double block.
And of course he gets hit by a cabbage on the way.
Alright, the Bombos tablet has...
EvilAsh.
The Bombos tablet has bombs. This is accurate.
MVP squirrel.
Oh, I have had so many blockages from those things. It's
who hasn't?
Not even funny. Yeah, but it's just...
I
still say the worst ones for me are where EvilAsh is dashing at the moment. If you get a skull that just blocks your way there, those are the things. If I had my way, would have deleted from the game by now, because they are so irritating. It's just
Newbie's heading into Hera here. Now he does not have a fire source, so obviously you're banking on the basement not being required here. It's a good sign getting the big key downstairs.
So, interesting that he's checking this item first. I think it was Christos I saw first that didn't check this item, and it's mostly because of, well, for me, the way I see it, it's mostly because of the fire that goes around that. So, if it turns out that one of the... Also an interesting strat here. It turns out one of the items is, if neither of the items are there, you've just wasted the time for it. But if... Where is EvilAsh going? I'm getting distracted by all the different things happening here.
Yeah. the unique...
Oh, he hasn't checked... No, he has checked Hobo. Where's he?
I don't think he has. I think it was Newbie that checked Hobo.
Also, you're mentioning that they couldn't get around to Pyramid. It actually is possible because you can go around this way. So, oh, red mail, okay. Interesting. Yeah, yes, those things! Delete them in the game. I'm kidding, obviously, but, you know. Oh, man, there's too much going on. I can't tell stories during this. Oh no! That is the last thing you want to see. So did he go for the dash strat, or was it just?
He went for a bomb. No, he was not using the bonk. I don't think.
All right, so within 2 pixels of the gap. Oh, would you like to see some fetch quests?
Yeah.
This is actually pretty good timing for that mushroom, though, because EvilAsh was probably going up that way anyway, based on the way he's set up. It was going to be going catfish. It was like, oh, now I just mirror to the witches on the way past, and it's fine.
Sure. It's on the way. How convenient.
Yeah. Now he could see what the Badger has for him.
So Newbie finds the red mail here in Hera. So there's only 1 item remaining. There are only 2 items in Tower of Hera, so we gotta hope that it's with the Troll Dorm.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 at this point because one of those items still has to be a small key downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting!
Actually, no, then the small key has to be... Oh no, he hasn't gotten the big key yet. Never mind.
Wow, did you see that there, though? EvilAsh chopped the bush and then
Oh, Fire Rod!
Wow, nice. What a place for it, too. EvilAsh deliberately mirror bonked to get back into the light world without actually transitioning screens there. That's really, really cool the way he did that, because he cut the bush down and then did, went into his portal in the bush, so that in the dark world, that bush wasn't cut. He would bonk backwards. The bush was still cut in the light world, and he was able just to go into the witch's hut there. Also, yeah, you really should be using hammer when you only have fighter sword here. If you've got master sword, spin attack mode on, because it actually does the same amount of damage as a tempered sword slash, which is what the hammer does. But if you only have fighter sword, then use the hammer, but it's more consistent.
So the catfish not working out for EvilAsh there, just having a red rupee. Meanwhile, Newbie picks up the Tower of Hera. It looks like that is exactly where EvilAsh is headed.
Yep. I mean, this is the obvious play now. You've got the mirror, so you go get the hammer. The hammer's needed for 4 Dark World dungeons, so, and at least 2 of those are, required. Palace Darkness might not be, Turtle Rock might not be, but the other 2 are. So you may as well just go ahead and pick this up immediately. And yeah, it's just good utility without, even without that. Plus, you get to do a lot of stuff over in Death Mountain, and goodness knows how lucrative that is in this version.
And Newbie getting trolled again by Dead Rocks.
At least, no, I think so. His idea there was that he wanted just to see what the floating island item was, so he didn't really care about going further through there. He just wanted to see, you can't boomerang Furies for whatever reason. He just wanted to see what the item was. Oh, single rupee off of the Ether tablet. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, but what he could have done too is he could have gone ahead and opened the Turtle Rock portal and. But that doesn't matter. Turtle Rock.
He doesn't have. He doesn't have any medallions either. So.
Yeah, but he could have at least seen the medallion, but it's irrelevant since Turtle Rock is a pendant dungeon now.
It's probably irrelevant.
Green pendant.
Yeah, hence probably irrelevant. So if I was Newbie here, there's the way around it I would like to do, so the way I've seen some people do it, that I've kind of stole, because that's what you do in Randomizer, you steal everybody else's good strats, is since you've got the mirror and the Titans and whatnot, if you set a mirror portal outside the entrance to this place, in the Dark World, then you can go do all this chest stuff up here. He's already done Spiral Cave, so that's fine. And then you drop out of this room again. Like, afterwards, you come back out the same way. You go into your mirror portal, and you're immediately in front of the Dark World version of this cave here, that you can then check the stuff at the top.
So, East Death Mountain here doesn't look like it's got too much of anything, no.
Not at all.
Coming up dry for Newbie. He's already checked Spiral Cave, so, wow.
You don't want to do the bomb jump here.
No. You only need that if you want to head back up, and it doesn't look like Newbie wants to do that, so...
There's no need, really. I mean, you could open up that portal at Turtle Rock, but that's going to be slower because you want to check the chest in here.
Sure. Now, Newbie's going to head up to, looks like he's going to head up through Super Bunny Cave, and, you know, one thing that can be a little bit trollish in the logic is that even in Hookshot Cave, there's this one chest that you can actually bonk to. Yeah.
Shoutouts to the other 83 people who played in the weekly. Or 82 with us two there as well.
That's true.
Because it was there in the weekly this week. Oh, can of burner, okay.
So I'm going to take the bait from one of our fellow commentators, Adirondack Rick, who saying it's a good thing I wasn't on the call for the first game. I wonder why that is. Oh, that's right. There was no cane.
There was no cane.
Yeah.
So, Newbie is not even checking that one in Hookshot Cave here. I mean, it's very unlikely to be the hookshot, but the sheer fact that it can be... Wait, what is EvilAsh doing?
He's checking the basement. He's got the fire rod. I mean, he obviously miscounted.
Yep. This is going to cost him about 10, I think, overall. It's roughly 45 seconds for this room, and then accounting for all the other transition stuff, it's about 1 minute and 10 it's going to cost him, I think.
Yeah. Alright, so Spike Cave, just $5. Wow, really, really underpaid for the amount of magic that you have to expend just to get there.
Yeah, I mean, that amount of magic is at least 30 rupees, so 40 rupees probably. Because you're thinking green potion, yeah, so 60
right,
for
yeah.
green.
So Ash is gonna face palm when he sees the map.
He did the rotation, go, wait, what am I doing? Alright, so we're gonna get to see what Maya requires here. And our survey says we don't know.
No, we're not. Newbie's going to troll us. He's going to keep us in suspense.
Whoa, just bombs. And
bombos.
Bombos. Okay. And before bombos is Maya's requirement, because that's usually how it works.
Yep. No, ether, vanilla here, so bird toss possibility.
See, I'm horrible that way because what I end up doing is I dash slightly further up most of the time to despawn the bird because it gets in the way that much that I waste more time going around the bird or killing it than I do actually, you know, despawning it. So I am inherently anti. Seems not through my own choice, but just bonk here. Actually, I'm not sure where Newbie is going at this point. If he was looking to go back to my area, he's done all the stuff around there. So it looks like EvilAsh also did not do the warp trick that I was mentioning before, which is fine.
All right, he's buying some blue goo.
Whoa, Bucko, no bombs.
Yeah. You only got
no bottles.
Only got one bottle, man.
No bottles full of bombs.
Now, Newbie has not been to the pyramid, so he doesn't have the mushroom, but it's also irrelevant because the mushroom didn't lead to anything but, what was it, $5? $20?
Yeah, that was
Something
5.
like that. It was rupees.
So, with Fire Rod and Potion in hand, the blue potion just to make sure that Moth doesn't do anything too funky, getting another Skull Rock here. I just have a pet peeve against him, that's all.
I've noticed. Something tells me you don't particularly like the skulls in the Darkwood, Raquel.
No, I mean, okay, so in the the Dark Woods it'd be fine because whatever, but you know, it's just when you're going through grass and you've got to go through a long chain of grass because there's no other way through it, and it's really slow to walk, and then you just get stopped anyway, and it's like, come on.
Here, this is another thing that's been changed up in the. Oh, excuse me. That has been changed up in the newest version of the logic, that the key in this room right here is no longer guaranteed to be a key. So you can sort of screw yourself up with bad routing. However, you know, there is no it's not a soft lock, right? Because you would have to save and quit. So
I mean, that's kind of isn't that not the definition of a soft lock though? Like if it was hard lock, then you would be completely screwed. But
no. Soft lock would be, for example, the keys are arranged in the dungeon such that you cannot get sufficient keys to make it through the dungeon. A hard lock would be the game freezing up.
Okay.
Right. So. So not much of worth here in Skull Woods yet.
Hookshot Cave just had a B-tour.
Yep.
Bottle with a B in it. Fun little trivia for anyone who gets one of those in Kakariko. Release the B next to the merchant guy, and if it's a gold B, he'll give you 100 rupees for it.
This seems to be awfully underpriced for the fact that there's only one of them in the game, at least in vanilla.
Yeah, you need to get one regularly. You need to do the right-hand side, like the open side of Ice Rod Cave, and dash into the fairy statue there. So I like Newbie's play here. He's grabbing the full magic. Not too many people know about that one, actually. It's a nice little refill just before you go up to, or if you've been caught by the War Master in the final area, then it's a really good thing to have, like the information on. Just you have access to full magic without going anywhere else in this place.
Yeah, we have RKC TKC subscribed for 3 months in a row. Earlier we had Cross Product subscribe for 3 or 4 months in a row. So thanks to you guys for subscribing to the Speed Gaming. That also reminds me, hey everybody, you're enjoying this run. I know you are, because these guys are awesome. So you need to follow them here on Twitch.
Oh right? Yeah.
Follow them. Follow Speed Gaming. Follow Speed Gaming 2 for more Link to the Past 2017 Randomizer Tournament action here on Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2.
Too long spent in this room. So the reason that Newbie got the potion here, very obviously, is that he doesn't have better than Fighter Sword, so he's fully expecting to Fire Rod the ever-living...
This is a family show, Gamer
Exactly! That's why I stopped myself. Insert choice of word here of them off here. So he needs to make sure he has that potion for that. And also, the spikes will still do a harder damage if you get hit by them instead of the moth's hit. So, as you can see, is kind of happening a little bit here. 2.5 hearts, the spikes do block the shots quite a bit. But that blue potion is definitely there as a nice safety. You can actually hit Moth with a Fighter Sword. One of the few bosses that you actually do get to damage with the Fighter Sword. But it takes an ungodly amount. I think it's like 16 hits or something.
Oh, dear lord. And with Mothula able to seemingly at will decide to take no damage because he got knocked into one of the traps, that having to hit him 16 times would be, quite frankly, about as much fun as having your gums tattooed. Yeah, because I believe it's 8 hits with the Master Sword, and the Fighter Sword generally does half the damage, so... Interesting pot lifting. Oh, the validation arrow. Okay, we can finish the run now. Interesting pot lifting from EvilAsh there, because he didn't leave himself a dash path through the exit there. So Newbie just warped out of Skull Woods, but didn't do a pedestal check.
Ooh.
Why?
Oh no!
That should be a DQ. I think the chat's got it right. That should be a DQ.
No. We will never find out. It's not like EvilAsh is going to check it at all. We will never find out if it's required. It is an important piece of information, though, that is one of the core reasons you would do Skull Woods. Like, obviously it's a crystal dungeon here, so it's required anyway, but it is one of the bigger reasons as to why you would do it at this stage.
Give me item dashing pegs down here, see what we have at Peg Cave.
Oh, okay.
Tempered.
Well, I bet he wishes he did this before Skull Woods now. That's That's not bad, actually, because that's just
No.
outside of the vanilla location, just in the Dark World instead. That's pretty good. I like it.
And it also now makes up for the fact that Newbie has not yet had any sword upgrade, so he will be able to check tablets as well now. Now we saw Bombos already, and it does not have anything, but we have not seen. I don't think either runner has checked Ether. Am I correct?
No, EvilAsh did. It had 3 bombs.
Okay. That's right. Okay, so the tablets are irrelevant, but it's still tempered sword, darn it.
Yeah, it might play into his mind at this stage, because you think, all right, now I've got a sword, I can go check those things, and yeah, very easily could play in. I need to learn how to do this with just ignoring those here, because they get so irritating. Yeah.
Well, you have Fire Sword and Half Magic. I would just, or excuse me, Fire Rod and Half Magic. I would have just pulled out the Fire Rod.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but EvilAsh is probably trying to just conserve that magic for making sure the Morphula stuff goes okay, because you do need quite a bit, and they don't have the lamp, so there's no way that you can really reduce your magic output that much there. You can hit 2 of the torches in the middle at the same time, with one shot, but even then you're still using 3 fire rod hits, and Morph takes 8 if you're gonna hit all of it, and Master Sword does the same damage, so you want to keep as much magic around as possible for this fight, because it's horrible.
My misstatement there does bring up a good idea, though. A Fire Sword would be awesome in this game.
Yeah.
Like the Fire Whip from Castlevania 2, not a great game, but the Fire Whip was awesome.
If the Zelda 1 randomizer can have a boomstick where the magic rod, instead of having fireballs off of it, shoots bomb explosions off of it, I think we can have a Fire Sword. I want to believe. EvilAsh did check Catfish, yeah. You said it was, 20 rupees, sir?
Yeah, it was worthless.
Yeah, so you can see what I mean about wanting to save magic here. I mean, EvilAsh got a full magic drop from one of the Gyptos, which used to be much more reliable than it was now that you get some magic off them, but since the items the enemies drop have been randomized, it's cool when it's like, oh, you get bombs and escape now. And then you think about it, it's like, oh wait, but now there's no way that I can reliably get magic off of Gyptos. So it's, 6 of 1. It's just like good in one way, bad in another, and you've got to adjust your plan for that.
So Newbie's about to receive the supreme disappointment that will be Catfish.
But he'll probably also then mirror and check Zora himself after this, because he didn't have the funds to do so.
Now we got a pedestal, folks. Now we got a pedestal check. Pedestal hype! Gotta pull out the book! I make things go triple boom. Oh.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Womp, 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 womp.
That one's a pretty good one, too. EvilAsh is fighting for his resources there.
Give me my stuff back!
Interesting route round here. I mean, this is probably the...
I'm sorry. Emma saying Ash having trouble in Detroit.
Aww.
Oh, God. Shade
now,
thrown.
unfortunately, that is not one that I 100% can laugh along with as well, but I can appreciate it nonetheless.
Have you ever seen RoboCop, GamerCal?
Oh yeah, I know.
Detroit is basically really like that these days.
Right, okay.
All my love for people who live in Detroit, but darn.
I just seen EvilAsh getting caught up by the Crosshair, having to pick one up and throw it away just to get it out of the way. So EvilAsh is basically playing on progressive logic here, right? Because he's got the Master Sword and now Tempered Sword, basically progressive. He had the regular gloves and then went up to the Titansmith. His shields were a little bit messed up, but were basically the same. Meanwhile, Newbie is in Ice Palace here. Interesting choice.
And Ash is to the Batcave.
So, Ice Palace without the hookshot is still definitely okay. but
It's doable, but not
the
fun.
The thing here now is that you really need to make sure that you're reasonable with your key stuff. You can still do the bomb jump, but you want a small key in the first 2 chests, like absolutely. And there is one. So if you can do the regular strats now, you can do the bomb jump and get the, like the regular Ice Palace bomb jump. And then you can actually do another one to get over the gap above the Ice Schoolie guys, where above the big chest.
Right.
Or you can go back upstairs and fall into the quote-unquote trap room north of the crossroads bit. And that will take you to the big ice room where the hookshot would normally be necessary to cross the thing at the top, but there's a locked door at the bottom that takes you to one chest, which is really easy to miss most of the time.
So we got a route divergence here. Newbie is taking a gamble, as we've noted, as you were talking about Ice Palace. So he's taking a gamble on a full clear of Ice Palace. EvilAsh looks like he's going to hop into Pod, which is never a bad play. Pod usually has at least one really good item in it. Oh no, but he loses Kiki the monkey in his cowardice.
I lost Kiki in the race earlier as well. Catches, though, like 2 catches with this. One is that he doesn't have the bow, so he could just get instantly locked out of this dungeon. And, well, the other one is just that it's not pendant dungeon, right? Or am I misremembering this?
Nope,
here?
Pod's
I'll
a pendant and Eastern, but Eastern is a crystal, so...
Yeah, I mean, the catch there is still no bow, so...
Right. Now, Pod does have 5 items as opposed to Ice Palace's 3, but getting that... Since Newbie got that key in the first chest, that is really nice. He can open the door here in the big trap room and gives him a much cleaner route to clear out Ice Palace.
You didn't need to bring the chest up there first, but that's fine. I do that most of the time as well. You don't actually want to bring that chest up immediately because you can't actually do anything with it. And this is actually the smarter way of doing this. When you don't have the hook shot, you open up that particular door because you'll get a small key from there. And that quake there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, had a hard time telling off the restream there for a sec, but... yeah, so if you open up that particular doorway, then you still get the small key that you need there. Hop happens to have a second one here. But now you can do the same general thing I was mentioning, but you can also use that to get... you basically just finish the rest of this from here without any real issue. It's always just tricky getting that one chest with the hookshot, but doing it efficiently.
Oh, butter
gold
sword.
Okay. That's interesting.
Stick of butter.
Yeah, because the catch is if you just go down towards the boss as the normal route here, then you're going to have to walk back up the stairs, and it actually takes longer to do that when you've done the bomb jump, so that gets annoying. But without Kena Samaria, you really do want to do the bomb jump because you don't want to be wasting time going through the rest of the dungeon a second time to, get the proper route done, So
Newbie here having to use 2 shots of bombos. The second freeze wasn't complete. There's the bow!
Oh my goodness! Okay, that is a big difference here.
Wow.
I had in my head this envision thing of Ice Palace having a bow. Didn't want to say it because I didn't want to jinx anything, but it freaking turned out to be that way anyway, so whatever. Yeah, so you'll see what I mean to this here. This chest coming up, I believe, has to have the big key. There's nothing else. Oh, he's not even going to do it. Okay. So, yeah, the big key has to be the final thing here. I believe there's 1 item left in this dungeon, so it's a gamble as to whether the big chest has it or whether Cold Stare has it. And if Cold Stare does not have it...
back in if Cold Stare doesn't drop an item?
I don't think so, because this dungeon takes so long to get back through. It would take him about 2 or 3 minutes to get back here, I think.
So either that or maybe we have miscounted and Newbie... Emma correcting us here. He found 3 items already.
Oh, okay. He found it. What was the 3rd one, then? Quake. Right. Okay. Quake by the bow. Right.
Quack. Newbie, Cold Stare still hits like a truck, even if you have the red mail, but with Butter Sword, I don't think Newbie's terribly afraid.
Yeah, so unfortunately you missed the beginning bit here, and we know that EvilAsh is a gamble here. it's not going to particularly pay off.
No,
But,
I mean it could end up being, Ether is here in Eastern Palace, but that just means he's still going to have to come back here a second time.
Probably the best thing for him right now is if Hookshot is in here.
Yeah.
Bingo!
Gamer Cal.
I hate to say
Gamer
I
Cal.
called it, but...
Where did you get the spoiler log?
You know the funny
Gamer
thing
Cal
is,
is now
I have a tendency to do this on my own stream as well, where I'm like, oh, I could really do with this one item to keep going in this bit here, and like a minute later it shows up. It's just apparently I can also do that with races as well now. Okay.
Yeah.
So, at the very least, that would still enable progression, because we know that Swamp Palace is a crystal dungeon, so that, although it will be slow to full clear, we still items anyway. Misery Maya requires Kena Samaria and, of course, Ether, so
Right.
Swamp Palace is probably going to have to be done like a full clear anyway. So where's Samaria? Ooh.
That's the big red cane is the only item that we don't know the location of at this time. Oh, and no, Ether.
I'm
We
gonna
haven't seen Ether
say, I'm gonna go and say it now. Kena Samaria is gonna be in the waterfall room in Swamp Palace. That is
you're going even farther than I was. I was gonna say just Swamp Palace, but you're going all the way and saying the waterfall room. Okay, left or right?
No, the waterfall room is the one that just before
okay.
August
Yeah,
bit.
no, I know which one you're talking about now. Yeah,
the one that you've got to push the block.
Yeah. F-Zero Racer says Ether's gonna be dropped by Trinex. Yeah.
No, so I have this horrible feeling that Ether is probably going to be in the Hookshot Cave now, just to be like maximum troll, because that's like the only reason you would go back up there now is to do that.
Now, maximum troll would be Sahasrahla holding it.
Oh, well, yeah, actually, but we don't know what Tildorot requires, so...
Yeah.
I mean, we know the other two pendants, medallions are being picked up, so it's not as if that requirement would be a problem if it's not either.
So, unlike Ash, Newbie is going to be able to finish off the Armos Knights, and he's got silver arrows, so it's going to be academic.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, not going to be an issue at all.
I will say, before the new version came out, when the version like 8.21 stuff recently, it has been such a long time since I've had silvers for Armos Knights. I had it in the race today, but that was with the new logic, and it's honestly like the first time I've had it for non-GT Armos Knights in forever. Felt super good. I like this use of the cape here, actually.
Yeah, Adirondack Rick pointing out that in the also a new change in the newest version of the logic is that all dark rooms, with the exception of escape, will be dark. You will need the lamp for all of them. However, the logic will still never require you to go through dark rooms before finding the lamp. So,
and that, by the way, is a gigantic game changer.
Yeah.
Like, it may sound like a really minor thing that, oh, there's only a couple extra ones of that. But no, you don't have to do any dark rooms by the logic, which means that if you don't find a flute, Death Mountain is entirely not, like locked out until you get the lamp. The Eastern Palace Armos Knights are never required, so you can't get the lamp there, but they're never required to be beaten before that. The big key chest is not required at all, so that makes Eastern Palace a less valuable place to check without the lamp in the early game.
To counteract what some things the chat is thinking, I thought at first that would mean lamp would be, real early, but
nope.
We ran the first ever V22 race this morning.
It was in Bumper Cave.
It was in the darn Bumper Cave. Okay, so
I've had it worse.
Waterfall room, not.
No, the waterfall room is at the top. We haven't got there yet.
Oh, Oh,
It's like
God
the
bless.
last
God,
chest. It's the very last chest in the dungeon.
I need to go
basically.
get me some more caffeine because I am having an idiot attack right now. So
It's
that
okay.
happens.
Yeah, the bow was in Ice Palace, which is a really horrible place for it to end up, let's be honest. Interesting to see EvilAsh's play here. Like, he didn't use the key and do basically the rando strat here, where you hit the crystal switch, then go down and get the key, and then do this. I mean, muscle memory is pretty strong in this sort of thing. It's very easy to flood that key by mistake.
Yeah, I've done that at least 3 times.
About 3 times is how many I've done it as well. But yeah, I have it drilled in my head now, so I basically always do that strat. But, you know, when you're not used to it. If you do accidentally flood it, by the way, get the 2 items that are over this side and then reset the stuff, because you don't want to end up redoing all of this bit just to get that. Just get the items, accept the loss, and then reset it and go along your way. That way you don't have to come back through here. Just general hints and tips whilst we go here.
So Newbie is heading through Swamp Palace as well. EvilAsh is ahead of him in the palace, but you got to think at this time has got a relatively substantial gap to make up on Newbie.
Yeah,
at this
definitely.
minute.
It's 5 crystals to moment, and the bow is the really big kicker here.
Right. Yeah, the bow being in Ice Palace is pretty trolly, but at least it was Crystal Ice Palace and not Pendant Ice Palace.
Yes, that is a big difference, because that does influence when you might go there. And that is exactly the sort of gamble that Newbie needed to take to get through this, I think.
Yeah. So Ash finding Ether here in the Swamp Palace, but we are still wondering about the location of the big red cane.
That's a pretty good place to find Aoife, to be honest. Is in that left-hand side, so...
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say cane in pod.
It is still possible, because EvilAsh couldn't check everything.
Right. Chat saying figures when Phantom Maria is commentating that Kane is the last item for Go mode. Alright, well wow, 2 heart containers right next to each other there.
Alright, this is it.
Yep, this is what you called. Let's see.
Aw, no such luck. Lightning can't always strike twice, apparently. Oh well.
Right.
You know the horrible thing about finding Aoife instead of the cane here, though, is that now means it could be in vanilla spots. It could be in Misery Mire itself, and that is horrific.
And that triggers me to say one of the things I say every race that I commentate, that there are few trollier places for an item to be than in their vanilla locations.
Yeah, and I think the Cane of Samaria is probably one of the biggest in that set, because I mean, the only things you need the cane for, assuming no right side GT, are Misery Mire and Turtle Rock. Oh, almost a perfect fight there for EvilAsh at the start there.
Right.
Still fantastically good, of course, but almost nailed the one cycle there without any extra. Oh, well, there's your lamp. Alright. That's not what I expected to see there, but okay.
It's a thing.
Well, this means we don't have to see dark rooms in Misery Mire, which is pretty good. Also, with the Cane of Samaria being the last item that is needed, this definitely confirms that Turtle Rock is not required for anything.
Yep.
I mean, we already had our suspicions, of course, but this, like, triple confirms it, if you will.
Looks like Ash is gonna... Is he heading
He is gonna go, yep.
Yeah, he's heading
I think that's basically the only major choice that he has left now. I like the dodge of the fireball there, just like... Nope, I'm jumping back in the water. You can't stop me. So that is Newbie picking up Aoife as well? Good location for it to be, actually, as well, along with a big key on the other side. Good location for it to be. Because that is a spot that a lot of people like checking, is in that area.
So Ash is going to be very happy that he came to Ice Palace. Just the slightest bit of a lead here because he's going to be about a minute and a half behind when Newbie clears Swamp Palace here. But he's still going to have to do Eastern, so...
Yeah, that's the thing, that although he has mostly cleared the dungeon, so it's just a quick rush through, that is still somewhere that needs to be done. It's, I think, about 2 to 2.5 minutes or so. Even with Silver Arrows, it's mostly just legwork getting through, not to mention the time you take to get there. So, yeah, it's not... that's not an insignificant thing, having that crystal lead, even if it is somewhere that has already been picked up. Oh, nice recovery off of that there. EvilAsh actually got hit by the Stalfos at the bottom, but the pot, when he threw it because of being hit, still hit the Stalfos, so that still got the quick in that room.
Chat just brought up a good point. I'll shout out to Zelda Disan, or however you pronounce that in the chat. Neither one of them was able to check the big chest in Thieves Town.
Okay, I wasn't able to see at the time whether that was necessary, but yeah, okay.
I don't recall. I wasn't doing an item count, but yeah, that could be interesting as well.
So, assuming you remember that, I think you would check that after you check Hookshot Cave, especially for Newbie, because he hasn't done Ether yet either. So, I imagine he'll be
tablet,
doing he'll probably do the Death Mountain stuff next. And then, if you're going to check it, you would check it then. You might check it after gambling on Misery Maya, just based on how he's played so far. He might just do the Hail Mary if it's not up on Darkworld Death Mountain.
There's EvilAsh finding the Quake.
Okay, yeah, map and compass were found, so it is an item in there. Interesting.
So wouldn't that be interesting if that was the big red cane?
Yeah, because I did say, so long as you remember. Alright, so Newbie's just remembering that he has to do Bomber's Tablet still as well, I think. So...
Smart.
There's a gold sword.
Because when you're at this point of the game, you're at an hour 17. You've got all the knowledge you need, but you're lacking one item from Go mode, and you're up against an opponent who beat the game in an hour 9 minutes last time. You got to check everything. Yep.
So EvilAsh is doing basically the route that I was saying before to get this one chest down here. The advantage is he has a hook shot, so it's a lot easier for him to navigate around here. Because the hook shot just lets you get through a bunch of the stuff. Where was the other item in here? The bow, which chest was that in? Was that in the one with the ice guys here on the left, or was it further in?
It was in the one with the Baris.
Well, no, that's the one he's just done. It was Big Key. Oh, yeah, he hasn't done this room yet. You can do this with a bomb jump, and you don't actually have to do any setup specific for it. You just need to be within, a couple of pixels of the gap, and it's no problem. On the flip side, if you want to do the opposite way around, the bow is there. If you want to do the other way around, if you manage to position yourself facing left, if you position yourself in the top left pixel of that gap, like just cover the bottom of that, then you can bomb jump across it that way too. And that, it's not necessary because you could just go up the stairs and drop down, but it saves a bit of time. And if you can land it consistently, then it's pretty good. There's a lot of different setups people have done with it, but that's the one I made that doesn't force you to move, so...
Newbie is here in Hookshot Cave now, and he's not going to find anything in here, nor is he going to find anything when he,
I don't know about that. We haven't seen
Oh, that's
the
right,
rest
we
of
haven't
this
seen
place.
a full clear, that's right. We saw EvilAsh go in, but he didn't have the hookshot yet, so... We got a red rupee. We're looking for something red. That wasn't the right red. One last chest, and it's red, but it is a red rupee.
Does that mean it's in the vanilla spot?
Vanilla spot
or
could
the
be in
vanilla
pod.
area?
Could be in pod.
Oh,
We
man.
didn't. We have not seen a full clear of pod. We did not see. Did we see 2 items in Desert Palace, or just the one?
I honestly can't remember.
Because Ash found the Master Sword in Eastern, or not Eastern, in Desert. But I don't know if he found another item.
Yeah, Spike Cave was just 5 rupees, so I know it's not there.
And the single rupee falling from the heavens. The gods are cheap today.
And that very much is a waste of magic. You were talking about the economics of the Spike Cave giving you just 5 rupees. Imagine just getting 1 rupee off of that.
Oh, shoutouts to Geeky Fried Rice for subscribing. Sub hype.
So EvilAsh is just going to even up the crystal lead here. So really it comes down to, can Newbie take advantage of the time that he has over EvilAsh here?
Yeah,
I think he's looking to do the super bomb. No? Okay, he's remembered he can't do the super bomb.
Can't.
Is he doing pod?
He hasn't checked pyramid yet. He never got the mushroom.
Right, okay.
So that's where Newbie's heading.
That explains the direction he took at the start there then. Because if you were going to check pod, of course you would probably just go from 5. I mean, I think you would probably just go from 5 to get here as well, but you know, details.
So he's going to be hoping that this fetch quest is going to help.
Yeah.
But it isn't.
He's going to have his badger.
Yep.
At least the flute makes it a nice quick area to check here.
True.
And in this version of the logic, the mushroom tends to have something a bit more often than it probably should, so... Yeah, this is where EvilAsh gets to basically capitalize on the stuff that he did earlier. This is where Newbie is playing catch-up in that regard.
Right.
Whereas EvilAsh is playing catch-up in crystals.
You know, should the red cane be in pod, remember that Ash has already cleared a significant portion of pod. He just didn't have the bow when he went there.
Yep.
So
looks like EvilAsh has been. It's been a while since he's done that as well. Yeah, going for the Hail Mary.
YOLO. He's gonna YOLO and bank on the vanilla location. This could be a definitive decision here. Should this work? Oh no, he's going into desert because he's not been into desert yet.
He hasn't been into the. He hasn't done much of the stuff in here. Just got the Pegasus boots and left. So can still do this first. Oh, I have a couple of horror stories when it comes to that cane being in that place. Were you in that one actually, where the lamp and the cane of Samaria were in there, and then Fire Rod was lamp locked in Tower of Terror?
I don't. That does not ring a bell. So.
Yeah, so I had one of the last race that I did. I think Rick was in that one. Maybe this was last night, I believe. The last race that I did on version 8.21 Logic had the. Yeah, that was ours last night, where we had we had all other options exhausted except, we're missing Fire Rod, missing Lamp, missing Cane of Samaria. The only option we had left in the entire game was Misery Maya. Misery Maya Big Chest had the Lamp, the Big Key Chest had the Cane of Samaria, and then the Lamp Lock Tower of Terror had the Fire Rod.
Wow.
For the final item that we needed to clear stuff.
Okay. So that just answered, my thought a minute ago. Newbie just pulled 50 rupees out of that chest there in Desert Palace, so that's both of its items. So there's no need to kill Landmalus here.
No. Okay, so I do like his play with that. Then he's picking up the bird now, so he isn't gonna take the complete Hail Mary. I do like that. Yeah. Because the last thing he would want.
Where is he going?
He's going. Well, I wanted to say he's going.
Yeah, okay. That's he forgot to hit the teleporter. That's what I thought.
Yeah, And now EvilAsh is thinking,
all
where
done
have I
that.
not checked?
Yeah, we have all done that.
Yeah, the other highlights from that seed were basically where Aoife was in this run was the Pegasus boots, so that was a good highlight. And you had to go through the left side of, or the west wing of your...
So Ash
Ooh.
has been to Desert Palace.
All right.
And is in fact going to YOLO Misery Mire. You gotta think, given that Newbie is gonna probably full clear pod here, if Kane is in its vanilla location, this could possibly be the match right here.
Yeah, and this makes sense. Oh, yo, shout outs to the Bird Toss. This makes sense for EvilAsh because he's already part cleared the Palace of Darkness. So there are fewer items in there than there would be for Newbie.
And remember that EvilAsh won the first game, so he, if this turns out to be the wrong call, he's got another chance to make it up in the next race.
Yeah, I feel like he won't be thinking in that mindset at all, but at the same time, it is an important point to note that, yeah, if he doesn't win this gamble here, then it's not a death knell for him. Plus, he will find a big key and everything here anyway, and has opened up the dungeons. A lot of cutscene stuff here, which would get fixed up. If the big key happens to be in a really bad location here, Newbie is going to have to check almost all of this stuff anyway, even if he does find the Cane of Samaria there. So... it's not a disaster either way. It will lose a little bit of time, but it might not lose as much time as it could.
Right. So now Newbie is heading to the part of pod that Ash was not able to go to earlier because of that Garaya room.
Yeah.
If the... I have seen items in the chest beyond this bombable wall here, because this chest is, I think, has to be a key, but this one is a key as well.
Neither chests have to be keys. I have seen items in all the chests in Palace of Darkness, but it's very, very likely that both is not even just one of them. Most of the time, both of them are small keys, but it's not guaranteed to be. I have seen everything everywhere in this dungeon, basically.
I thought that one of those had to be.
I think it used to be, but stuff has been reworked a little bit.
And just a compass here. I mean, we're holding our breath with every chest that gets open, because basically whomever finds the big red key first, or the big red cane first, is probably has got a good shot of being the victor here. Left, right side of Ganon's tower.
By the way, just want to say every time, in my experience, in like at least 80 to 90% of the scenes I play, the big key is in one of the two chests on this side with the torches and whatnot. So even though it is probably faster to check the chests in the foyer area than do these two, I do these after hitting the crystal switch. I do these two anyway, because almost every time that I do this, that's where the big key ends up, if it's not in one of the first two chests. So
yeah, the big red cane, guys. God bless. Can't misspeak without the chat going crazy. Oh, three
just
bombs there.
Here.
Oh.
That's where the Cane of Samaria was in that run with the lamp in here as well.
So we know that the cane isn't going to be here because EvilAsh already went through this section. So
wait, so if he's already got the other item out of here, then he should be mirroring out straight away. There must be another item in here that he hasn't got yet.
Yeah, there are only two in Misery Mire. So the only possibility left now for Pod is for the cane to be on Helmsur King, because I believe EvilAsh cleared out Maze of Darkness. So, and we have a red rupee.
And there we go, EvilAsh has figured it out immediately. But he has the big key, and he has all the stuff that he needs to do the rest of the dungeon, so it isn't going to take that long. He's also part cleared Palace Darkness already, so that's a pretty big difference right now. So it's either Helmsur King or the basement of Thieves Town. Yeah, actually, that is the other place that is still at large. Wouldn't that be a kick in the teeth?
Yep. So Ash is indeed headed to pod. So
it makes sense. I think
I agree.
I mean, maybe it makes sense. I mean, both of them are going to be really places to check. I think Thieves Town would actually be quicker if this is the only item he'd have left, but there are other chests that he could open at the time. So there are 3 chests in here. We know ourselves that 2 of them are small keys.
Right.
But
EvilAsh doesn't know that. He knows that there's a side of this dungeon that had two chests that he could not get earlier.
Yeah, and I think if both of those are small keys, then he must have been key locked out of somewhere else in this dungeon, right? Yeah. So, because you only need 1 for the basement bit.
That's right.
So there must be more than just those chests to check in here for him. So in that case, it would make a bit more sense to come here first, I think, than to do Thieves Town. Although, if you were in this situation, which one would you do?
I can't. I don't even know. It depends
it's so
on where
hard,
I was.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the flute, so it doesn't really matter where you are because you can get to both of them just as easily.
So here we go. Turtle room here. Yes,
This room is horrendous to do without the fire rod and the lamp.
Yeah, I did it once, dark. Luckily, I had red mail, and I just kept spamming the hammer as much as I could, and I eventually got out with like 1 heart and actually killed Helmaser King.
I like the combination of the hammer and either Bombo or Ether dealing with them is the best thing, because if you just charge straight into the room at first and then hit the... Oh, we never did that, maze. That's where the rest of them are.
Oh, okay. I thought he did... Oh, you're right, he got key locked out of it.
Yeah. So when it comes to the tunnel room in the dark, if you don't have the fire rod to light the torch, the next best thing you can do is to like go straight down at the start, hammer as you would normally, and then fire off either Bombos or Ether. That tends to kill 3 of them.
Okay, moment of truth. We got Helmaser King blowing up here. What item will he drop? It's just 50 rupees.
Oh,
it's in the basement of Thieves Town.
That has to be the only place left, right?
Yep, and so this is gonna be key here. What is Newbie gonna do? Because remember, Newbie did not YOLO into Misery Mire, so is he gonna YOLO into Misery Mire or back to Thieves Town?
Or is he gonna take every single other option off the table first?
Yep. Let's see. The flute location is gonna be telling here. He's going back to Thieves Town.
Wow. Okay, that's big.
He's going back to Thieves Town. Wow.
Man, this...
And we know
this
has got... I can't think of a single location that these runners have not checked that is available to them right now. This has got to be the correct location. Yeah, I'm sitting there racking my brain. GamerCal, can you think of a single?
I can't at the moment. No.
No, I can't either.
And that would sort of make sense because I've been thinking of this in my own place at the moment. Almost every seed I've done in this last week has basically had me 100% in the game, and this is roughly the same sort of time frame as I would have at the moment in all the other seeds I've done. Is about that hour 35 time mark is where I'm like, right, it is basically in this one final place I've checked literally everywhere else in the game. There's nowhere else it could be. So. This would make sense with the time frame that there is nowhere else to check. No, it cannot be at the Pyramid Ferry or Fat Ferry because Misery Mire is Crystal 6, and you need Canis Samaria to beat that. So there's no way that it can be there.
All right, unless the logic failed, which is highly, highly unlikely.
I mean, that'd be funny, but at the same time,
that would be funny as hell, but.
It's actually, not going to happen.
But it's not going to happen. Guys who VTorp and Carcat and all the other guys who coded this, they're not going to make that kind of mistake.
The amount of work that has gone into this thing is astounding. It really is.
And the amazing part is none of these guys is making a red cent from it. That is cool stuff right there. And that's gotta be Kane! That's gotta be Kane!
There we go. This is it. Like, I did mention, you've got to remember about this square, and there it is. We saw in the group stages a lot of games decided by this particular space when. So it was usually when somebody checked the first 4 and didn't go through the rest of it.
Right.
This just goes to show once again you cannot sleep on the big chest in Thieves Town, especially in this version of the logic. It seems I haven't seen as many items there nowadays, but it is still a big place to look. Are we gonna get a second bird toss here?
Bird toss number 2.
Yeah. So if it wasn't already obvious, ladies and gentlemen, we are in go mode.
Go mode.
Yes, bird toss number 2. All right. And we know
right,
that the big key here for the standard route that gets taken, the big key here is not in a terrible spot. It was in the room above the 4 lamp puzzle, like with the tile room. So it's not actually in that bad of a location. That's a perfect place to keep going with it, because you can just go to the right from there and you can do like the big key door stuff from there and just actually get towards the end. Very, very favorable spot. And you'd be having a bit of trouble with this first room.
Getting a little bit trolled by the 1 HP enemies in here, letting Ash catch up just a little bit. And remember, Ash is not going to have to search for the big key. He is just going to power straight to the basement here because he already has the big key. So Newbie's lead here is shrinking by the second.
But it is still substantial enough that this is going to be a one game to keep an eye on here.
Oh, absolutely, and because even if it closes here, we're still going to have the left-right guess or play in Ganon's tower.
There we go. EvilAsh doing a little jig in the middle there, going right. Okay, let's go. But yeah, this is why I wasn't too against the Misery Maya play before, because as you said, he doesn't have to do anything else in this dungeon now. He can just go straight to the end. So that is a pretty substantial difference. And the other thing that it does
Newbie's about to get the big key right here.
Yep. So. The other thing that it does is that EvilAsh will not have to flip the crystal switch, which means he can save a little bit of time in the basement area here. Oh no, Newbie, what are you doing? Don't go down there.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you could have just gone north.
Yeah. Oh, he's hit the crystal switch again. Okay.
Oh, that's
not bad. Okay.
That's not bad at all, actually.
I'm not sure if it's faster though, because you did have to go through a few screen transitions for that. But
that's true.
It at least justifies the reason for going there. But
yeah.
I want to say that was still not quicker. But hey, that's what's cool about the randomizer, because you get to see different strategies and different people.
Newbie is there. EvilAsh is 3 screens behind him.
137.52 going down the stairs here.
Yeah. Oh wow!
So, shout outs to Rick for being the main one timing stuff that way. And it is a 138.10, so about 18 seconds?
Something like that.
And that is not a huge lead in the slightest. This is definitely anyone's game still.
So we've got the Vitreous fight, which, you know, both of our runners have butter and silver arrows. Vitreous fight not going to cause really any trouble for either one of them. But
you'd be taking a little bit of a safety there. Understandable, but at the same time, when you have the cape, you could just use that instead.
Right, cape and half magic.
Yep. I mean, it's fine. It's just we know how precarious this lead is. So any time that you take on safety stuff here, and especially when you get to use the cape anyway. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, but not doing the car cat strats, where you just dash through all. Works really, really, really well with God's Sword, but this is still fine.
Yeah.
And you can see now, Silver Arrows also one-shot these guys here, so this is not going to take too long. Yeah, oh, not quite getting before the one cycle there. So no zero cycle Vitreous, unfortunately.
No, but looking at this, Newbie404 and EvilAsh25 in the same room after an hour and almost an hour 40 minutes of play here. They are seconds behind each other going into Ganon's Tower. Newbie404 is fighting for his tournament life here.
8 seconds.
EvilAsh25 can take this match and move on to the round of 8, I believe. Oh, wow.
EvilAsh slashed that lead in half during that, so just under, more than half actually. Yeah, just 8 seconds separated the fanfare there between the two players.
Absolutely amazing race we've got going on here. Yes, as they are saying, it is down to Ganon's Tower gambles. And ladies and gentlemen, it is tradition here in the Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament. There are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower in which the big key could be located. What are your guesses? And will this race come down to one of our runners going left, one of them going right?
Slight variation in routes here. Newbie's route, if you get reasonable enough RNG on the squirrels here, which of course never happens, but you know, if you do, then it is about a second or so faster, according to Andy, because he did timing for it during the group stages for me. But that is, of course, assuming, like it is here, that you have to open this up, so it's that. But there is more menu time that gets taken up if you want to have the hookshot back out here, so I think we're actually going to see this. This has closed the gap up quite a lot. Yeah, there we go. EvilAsh is actually taking the lead here.
High-fived. Wow.
So that is interesting. Like, I mean, if you can do it optimally, then it would be faster doing it going up to the Tillerot stuff. But if you can do the hookshot clip down here, like EvilAsh did in the transition there, it might actually just be faster going that way around.
Wow. There's like 2 seconds, if that, between these guys.
141.37 going in and 141.40, so 3 seconds difference here.
Oh my god. All right, both of our runners look like they are going right side first. Now the question is, let's see here. One of these is a map.
Yeah.
If the other one's a small key, we got a chance at a right side gamble. They're not. There is no chance of a right side gamble. Both of our runners are going the same route through Ganon's Tower. So it is all down to execution at this point.
Yeah, you could see that Newbie's menu is a little bit more awkward to deal with. EvilAsh is there, as well as the fact of the hookshot getting EvilAsh across a bit quicker.
Remember, folks, we got RNG on the Aghanim 2 fight. We have seen Ganon hugs make people fall down into the depths on the Ganon fight. When they are this close together.
Oh no, Newbie! Don't flub it now.
Yeah. Don't make a liar out of me.
So this is where Ganon's secret treasure stash was. Okay. I was wondering, we were having an uncharacteristically poor seed until this happened. It's not a randomizer seed unless you get a minimum of 1,700 during the run.
That's right.
Yeah, so Newbie just waiting for the spikes there to make sure that he doesn't get hit on the way around.
Yeah, EvilAsh not only has closed the gap, he has taken
look at this.
Pretty substantial lead
Even
at this
managing
point.
to... Oh, I need to learn that. I tried to do the standard boomerang strats with the magical boomerang once there, and it just flew straight through the bottom wall and ended up looping back around to me from the other side. So, magical boomerang, not normally the greatest of things there, but it is still possible to use it. I need to learn that. Because any excuse to make the magical boomerang actually useful is a good excuse to take.
And Chad is noticing Newbie is falling behind here.
Yeah.
But don't ever count. When both racers are against Tower at the same time, don't ever count anybody.
I mean, EvilAsh is the #1 seed of the tournament for a reason, right? There's the blue.
That is true. That is true.
And a blue potion. That's actually really good. Probably won't be necessary, but that means you can be a bit freer with the fire rod if you wish during the gauntlet here. Or if you accidentally lose a lot of magic for the torches or something. I've seen it happen. I think famously in one of the GDQs that actually happened during a really good NMG run where magic just ended up running out. And yeah, I'm sure you can imagine the pain that ensued off of that. Oh, and there it is!
Bob has the big key!
Alright. Shoutouts, and just making sure... No keys. EvilAsh does not have any keys right now, so he's doing the smart option, looking at the free chest down here. It's possible the big chest has a small key as well, so... There are 4 chests that he can get without going to tile room for the key here.
He's definitely gonna... Like you said, it's definitely the smart play here. And Newbie's gonna have to do the same thing, so... No,
Newbie's taking the risk. Okay, so it is... Okay, Newbie's gonna take the tile room. Looking at it, if the big chest didn't have a small key here, I'm pretty sure that means there has to be a small key in the chest at the top. But...
Yes.
That... Yeah,
now here it is,
okay, there we go.
There's a small key.
Yeah. And this tile room is going to be the death knell here, because this is 45 seconds minimum, I believe. I'm not entirely sure exactly how long this is, but it's at least that.
Yeah, but it's around that.
And this might not even have a small key. I think it's like a really, really low chance it wouldn't, but I don't believe this has to have a small key.
No, it does not. But based on the layout. No, and based on the layout right now, no, I don't think it does. I have seen things other than small keys in here, but based on this particular layout of Ganon's Tower, I think the fact that there was a small key in the big chest means that there can be small keys in the other 4 chests afterwards. But he does get a key.
Yeah, like I think it was almost guaranteed, but I don't believe there had to be a small key there. But I mean, I could be wrong. I've not exactly done tile room very often, especially not in this logic, as you can imagine. So, because who wants to do that, right? Meanwhile, yes, storming up the castle. Look at this, fantastic.
Yeah, the stall childs there are the biggest troll here. He's coming up upon the ice rooms here. This first one not so bad, but the second one does tend to troll a lot.
Just want to say there was good RNG in the 3rd room there as well with the blue Dragon Knight guys. That was really good too. The 3rd one didn't go back at the top of the screen, so not using silver arrows here, which is interesting. The fire rod is perfectly satisfactory.
And he got it the last possible second. Remember, EvilAsh, our runners did pick up a blue potion here in Ganon's Tower.
Which is probably why he's not picking up magic here.
Right. And he also has a green potion, as we saw in his menu there, so he is not at all worried about running out of magic.
This is still going to be a close one, though. Anything can happen still. I like that. Not getting the proper hit here. The Samaria block was a little bit too high up to hit anything. Oh, and you see the Newbie's not got nearly as good an RNG in this room because that top guy just gets away from you. Good use of the lamp here instead of just going full on with the fire rod, just conserving enough magic that you don't have to pick up the full decanter in the next room.
Yep. But not picking up the decanter in the next room can sometimes cause that despawn glitch that we've seen before.
Yeah, only if you're incredibly slow. I have had it happen once before myself, but it really means that you've been way too slow in the previous room. If you don't waste too much time there, then it's not going to be a problem.
We have seen that happen in a tournament race.
Yeah. I've had the worst one where I despawned stuff after killing Moldorm 2 somehow. I never quite worked out exactly how. I think it was something to do with a poke and a spin attack on Moldorm, but the camera got dislodged, and so it kind of did. I think you might have seen it actually in one of the races with the Turtle Rock in the 2nd room of the dungeon where somebody spin attacked the... Oh, nice. about it. She attacked one of the berries when it was electrocuted whilst they were riding the platform, and then when they transitioned off the screen, the camera got dislodged, and they basically ended up continuously falling into a pit because it scrolled upwards, but then put them into the bottom of the room they were just in, and that bottom was a pit, and so they just died. There was no way that they could get out.
Yeah, EvilAsh heading into Ganon 2. He gets a single.
Painful. Okay. Oh, he is not going to be happy with this fight right now. Oh, just missed the triple there. No, that was 2 hits.
Was that a double? I thought those were too close together.
I'm fairly sure. Well, we'll see after this hit, because this will be hit number 6. Yeah, he will not be happy with this fight. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was a double. Okay.
I totally understand the confusion, because it can be really difficult to tell with that, but yeah. So
particularly when I don't have any sound.
Yes, I actually do have EvilAsh's sound on at the moment as well, so I did have that slight advantage. So yeah, Gold Sword, Silver Arrows, probably not much of a problem with the fight here. I expect this is going to be done within about 1:20.
Yep. Yeah, like you said, gold swords, silvers, red mail.
There's the other thing there. You see, Newbie actually got 2 pokes with the gold sword, so they basically just did tempered sword damage. Didn't kill Mordor in 2 hits. Yep, already on to phase 2. I think you were saying 6 hits on each phase here?
7, I think.
No, it's 6 hits, and then because it would be 12 with tempered.
Right. But you noticed there that for a second EvilAsh paused and stopped slashing you, just waiting for Ganon to switch phases there, because after the initial allotted hits, nothing else counts until Ganon officially switches into the next phase.
Oh man, you'd be getting horrendous luck with the ALTTP fight as well.
Oh.
No torch glitch is no problem when you're doing Silver Arrow strats, though.
Not at all.
Oh wow, nice! So, what happened? We're almost seeing an energy thing here. What happened there is that EvilAsh was slightly too late on the sword slash, but Ganon was still teleporting, so we actually hit him as if it was the spin strat.
Oh, almost a triple! Just barely missed the triple, but that is gonna do it. EvilAsh25, unless he falls here by walking into the Triforce room, which is not gonna happen. But as when he walks into the room, we will get the official Speedrun Live time of 1 hour, 51 minutes, 58 seconds. GG's to EvilAsh, but also GG's to Newbie404, because that was a hell of a race.
Yeah, and what a seed to do it on, too.
Yeah. And as one of the members of the chat pointed out, this difference is pretty much entirely from Ganon's tower execution.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. So here, we clearly see EvilAsh's experience with this game is very good. And this is why he's consistently really high placed in the weeklies and all the other races he does as well. EvilAsh is one of the few people that before the tournament, when I was racing a whole bunch of people in that 1 month, EvilAsh is one of the few people I never beat. I think Jet was about the only other one that I actually raced that I never beat before the tournament started. So I am not surprised by this at the slightest that he's done this well in this seed.
So see if we can get EvilAsh in here for some comments.
Yep, as Rick has said there, this is why NMG is important for practice in GT, because yeah. I mean, we saw that today. That was the difference, because although it is okay, and there goes Newbie404 taking down Ganon, but yeah, that was the difference here. Was all about execution. Do you think EvilAsh might have a chance against Mike the V? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Mike the V is monstrous, but we see the EvilAsh's one night earlier on, right?
Yeah, you guys do realize that EvilAsh just set a tournament record in the previous seed. So Yeah, I think he's got a chance against Mike the V. Just saying.
Alright, are we going to be able to get Newbie in here as well, you think?
I do not know.
Because I see EvilAsh in the waiting room. I'm just waiting to see if we can get both of them in at the same time.
That would be nice.
Oh,
Newbie,
Mike is broke.
Mike
Okay.
is broke.
Yo, GG, man.
Hey, thank you. What a seed, man.
What a seed indeed. The very last possible spot for both of you. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just found that out. I didn't know it was his last spot too. That must have made for an interesting race.
Yeah, so
Well-
what was hype as heck was the fact that you went into both Pod and Misery Mire without being able to complete them. He did not. So when he went into Mire before you did, actually having the Cane of Samaria, but you were able to catch up just a little bit in Misery Mire. You guys killed Vitreous at nearly the same time. And then you made up a good 10-second difference routing to Ganon's tower. You were ahead by a second, 3 seconds going into Ganon's tower, and never gave up the lead after that.
Okay, wow. That was pretty good then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should go back and watch it. It was pretty darn hype.
18 seconds difference after Vitreous in Newbie's favor, and then you caught it up entirely beforehand. And yeah, it was execution all the way at the end. But man, what was going through your head at that point when you were running that thin on item locations?
Well, that Thieves Town chest was in the back of my mind the whole time. And I know it's trolled people in the past as well.
Yep.
And it's just that it's so far away, and it's just one chest, and there's so many other chests in other spots.
Yep.
So it's like, you can't justify going back there until it's like the very last one.
And especially in Thieves Town, where, I mean, there's not a short way to do it. Right?
No, you're all in that dungeon
Yeah.
without any. I mean, the only thing you don't have to do again is the upstairs part, but you are all in that dungeon. You cannot just skip to the end again because the door is one way. It's a jerk. So, yeah, I understand that. There have been times where I've just gone back and done it anyway just to get it out of my mind, but almost every time I do that, it's useless. So, you know. As it turned out, this is one of the few times it wouldn't have been. But man, I mean, the bow as well in Ice Palace. Like, what was that all about? I don't think I've ever seen the bow there, and I've seen just about everything everywhere by now.
Yeah, I have never seen the bow there either. That was quite a surprise when I found that. I was like, man, I don't have bow, I don't have Samaria. It's like, and I only have like these other couple dungeons left to check. And a pendant dungeon, and it's like, wow, I did not expect to find it there.
So
Yeah.
Ash, while you were going through, you know, you did hop into Pod before you got the bow. You also hopped into Misery Mire before you had Samaria. Were you thinking, hey, I can take these gambles because I'm up one game? Did that enter into your mind at all?
Not really. It was more about just going to the places that had more concentration of chests. Doing that pod early was probably a mistake looking back on it, just because I didn't have lamp still, and what was it, Eastern Head hookshot? So yeah, I didn't have that yet either. So yeah, looking back, I probably shouldn't have done pod, but at the same time, it's just like you're trying to scramble to think of spots. What is the best place to go? What is the best place to go? And you don't really have a lot of time to think about it when you're trying to route.
Yeah, and from my own tournament experience against Wild Anaconda, we had to go into Pod without the mirror and without the bow, I think it was. Was it without the hammer? No, it was without the hammer at one point. We had to go in without either of those to get stuff. I think it was like Mushroom at the top where you get the pegs and whatnot to get the mirror, and then hammer was Ice Palace. But we had to go a whole bunch of places in Palace of Darkness just so we could get places. It has happened before, so I don't blame you at all for wanting to go there.
Yeah, it's really hard to justify, even though like no bow. I've gone in there a handful of times probably with no bow before and no lamp, and I think one time I ever came out with an item I needed. So You never know, I guess.
Yeah.
So Evil Ash, AJ Neb, aka Ben, is in the chat here and says, "Hey, you just got the fastest winning time in the bracket and the slowest winning time. How do you feel?"
Hey Ben, I think we got both ends covered then.
That's right. Well, there is another tournament race going on Speed Gaming 2 right now. So before we sign off and give everybody the schedule here, Evil Ash, again, congratulations. You move on to the round of 8. You have anything, any final words before we sign off for right now?
I wanted to say thanks to Newbie for the race. I'm glad this one was closer than the first one. It's nice to have an exciting race for you guys as well. But I had a lot of fun.
I'm just seeing the stats here. 37 locations for you before the boots, and 63 before mirror. 39 for Newbie, and then 64 or something for the mirror. Like basically exactly the same places where you found the stuff. It's just super neat seeing that.
Yeah, I think that was the only thing I had going for me, is if he did the exact same thing. If he had gone there earlier, he definitely would have won that. But just how it worked out, I guess.
Yep.
All right. Well, congratulations again to you, EvilAsh25. Ladies and gentlemen, right now on Speed Gaming 2, they're about an hour, 7 minutes in. We have Wild Anaconda 69 versus ACMLM in Game 2 of their tournament. Later on tonight at 6 o'clock p.m., should there be a game 3? No, I'm sorry. I'm reading my schedule all wrong. Forgive me. Slap me around. Call me Shirley. But they are playing Game 2 right now. That will be the last match on Speed Gaming scheduled for the day. But so stick around for that. And there will be more Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament 2017 action coming at you later on this week as soon as we get the round of 8 matches scheduled. So I am Phantom Ryu. Follow these runners. Shoutouts again to Emma for running the tracker for us today. Gamer Cal, take us out for the day.
Yeah, it's been Gamer Cal, and this has been one heck of a race to commentate here. Thank you very much for joining me for this, Ryu. And yeah, until next race, guys, take care.